Hello and welcome to another episode. My name is Alan, and today we're going to continue on the little series we have about congressional donors. So, no other real news, so let's just jump into that. As always, I have my notebook. Now, first person we're looking at today is Jody Arrington. He's 46-year-old and is the representative for the 19th District of Texas. He is a Republican, and he's serving his second term as a representative. Before becoming a U.S. representative, he was a special assistant for the president and associate director of presidential personnel during the George W. Bush administration. He's been a chief of staff for the FDIC, the Federal Debit Insurance Corporation. You often will see it on banks. FDIC insured. So, he's been the deputy federal coordinator and chief operating officer for the office of the federal coordinator for Gulf Coast rebuilding after Hurricane Katrina. He's been system chief of staff for Texas Tech, as well as the vice chancellor for research and commercialization at Texas Tech. And he's also been the president of Scott Laboratories. So kind of a varied past there. The committees he's on are agriculture, budget, and veterans affairs. So three committees in the House. His top 5 donors. The biggest individual donor we have is Rieger Dykes Auto Group, which is a collection of car dealers in West Texas. And they donated $18,900. The second largest individually is the National Apartment Association, which is a nonprofit trade association of apartment communities, owners, and suppliers. Headquartered in Arlington, Virginia. They donated $15,000 to him. I guess they wanted them for budget, I guess. It's the only thing I can figure out. His third largest individual donor, Diane Graves Owen Foundation. And it is something that I didn't much find, but is a nonprofit based in Abilene, Texas. And I hate not being able to feel, it makes it harder to turn these pages. They donated $13,600. Yeah, I can't feel in my left hand. It's like I've slept on it, and it's got that kind of feeling. I just can't feel much in it. I mean, if it's a good pain, I can feel it and stuff, but yeah, it stays kind of a slept on, numb feeling. Except, that's just the way it stays. That's the way it is. So I apologize for taking some time to turn papers. Next is the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. It's a trade association and lobbying group for beef products in the U.S., and it's headquartered in Centennial, Colorado, and they donated $12,500. And number 5 on that list is Intervest Limited. It's an oil and gas company headquartered in Houston, Texas. Which again, he is a Texas representative, so that makes sense. They donated $11,800. Now, his top 5 largest industries, so individuals from that industry or companies from that industry. Number 1, crop production and basic processing, which altogether he received $134,166. Next is real estate, which he received $71,449. Third is commercial banks, $69,041. Next is agricultural services and products, $66,857. And number 5 is oil and gas, which that industry donated $62,100. And that was Jody Arrington from Texas. Now, we have our next individual, Cindy Axon. She's 53-year-old and represents Iowa's 3rd district. There we go. She's a Democrat, and she's serving in her very first term. Before this, she worked in the strategic planning and leadership development for the Tribune Company in Chicago, and she also spent time working within the Iowa state government at different positions and levels. I was unable to find anything of any specificity, but that's what I have. Of course, being her first term, she has no committees. And her top 5 individual donors. At number 1 is Alphabet Incorporated. It's an American multinational conglomerate that owns Google and is headquartered in Mountain View, California. And it donated 42,449. So you can already see some power behind her with the company that owns Google. Next is Stanford University, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's university, and it donated 29,278. Number 3 is Emily's List, an American political action committee that aims to help elect pro-choice Democratic female candidates. And they donated 22,013. Next up is Harvard University. Again, pretty self-explanatory. They donated 21,982. And at number 5, we have University of California. Again, self-explanatory. They donated 21,928. So, 3 universities, 2 of them Ivy League, on that list. So, that's pretty big. But anyway, the top 5 industry donors to her. The first one is Democratic and Liberal, which donated 518,266. Let me read that again. 518,266. $500,000. Her second biggest industry donor retired at 355,898. And next is Securities and Investment at 345,387. At number 4, we have Women's Issues at 245,940. And her 5th largest industry is lawyers and law firms at 213,682. And that was Cindy Axne. You can see the money involved there. Next up, we have Brian Babin. He's 70-year-old and represents Texas 36th District. He's a Republican, and he's serving his 3rd term. Before this, he worked as a janitor, a merchant seaman, a postman, as well as a local musician working at bars and restaurants and stuff, singing. He's been a dentist, the mayor of Woodville, Texas, and also a member of the Woodville City Council, and the director of Tyler County Chamber of Commerce. So, now, the committees he sits on. Office. Let's try this again. The committees he sits on. Science, space, and technology. The other one is transportation and infrastructure. So let's look at his top 5 individual donors. Right off the bat, we've seen them a lot here recently. This being only the 3rd video, and it's maybe the 3rd time we've seen them mentioned. Northrop Grumman. And as I mentioned before, they are a global aerospace and defense technology company based in Falls Church, Virginia, and one of the largest arms traders in the world. They donated $19,500 to him. His second largest donor, Transglobal Solutions, a worldwide transportation, railroad, and heavy civil construction company based in Houston, Texas. They donated $18,900. At number 3, the American Dental Association. Remember, he used to be a dentist. It's a professional organization representing those in the dental industry and based in Chicago, Illinois. And they donated $12,000. Next, we have Dannenbaum Engineering. It is a Texas firm that plans and designs infrastructure projects. They donated $10,800. And number 5 on the top 5 individual donors forum are Travel Services CostaRica.com. I looked but could find no real info. Typed in the website as it was listed out to me and everything. But apparently it's there to help people travel to Costa Rica who want to vacation there and so on. So it donated $10,800. Now, his top 5 industry donors. Number 1, health professionals. They donated $171,791. Next up is air transport at $182,500. Number 3 is oil and gas, who donated $66,957. Number 4 is retired at $66,156. And his 5th largest industry was chemical and related manufacturing at $51,500. That will bring us to Donald John Bacon. He is 55-year-old and represents the 2nd District of Nebraska. He is a Republican and he's serving his 2nd term. Before this, he served in the United States Air Force for 30 years. So, sir, thank you for your service. I don't necessarily agree with everything that the Republican Party does, or agree with all our wars. But the service members who do fight in them, thank you for your service. Now, the committees he's on. Agriculture, Armed Services, and small business. Those three are the committees he's on in the House of Representatives. So, now for his top 5 individual donors. Number 1, Tenosca Energy. They are a private independent energy company headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, and they donated $21,740. Next is TD Ameritrade, which is a brokerage firm based in Omaha, Nebraska. So likely he covers the Omaha, Nebraska area. TD Ameritrade donated $20,703. Next up is Green Plains, which is North America's 3rd largest ethanol fuel producer, and they're based in Omaha. They donated $16,000. Next up is the Quit Corporation, a Fortune 500 contractor that's based in Omaha, Nebraska. They donated $15,800. And at number 5, Werner Enterprises, an American freight carrier and transportation and logistics company based in Omaha, Nebraska. They donated $15,400. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top, leadership packs, $248,512. $248,512. So, which is, it gets to quite a drop off for the next industry, which is retired, that donated $159,052. At number 3, we have insurance, which donated $121,701. At number 4, we have securities and investment, which donated $102,443. And at number 5, real estate, which donated $93,090. And that was Donald John Bacon. And the last person we're going to talk about today is Jim Baird. He's 73-year-old and represents Indiana's 4th District. He's a Republican, and he's serving his very first term. Before this, he was a member of the U.S. Army. He was the Putnam County, Indiana Commissioner, a member of the Indiana State House of Representatives. So, based on what I found, being his first term, he's on no committees. And his top 5 donors. Number 1, the Majority Committee, Political Action Committee. It is a political action committee that I couldn't really find too much about. I looked on a number of sites with no real information. They donated $10,000. His second largest individual donor, American Bankers Association. They are a trade association for the U.S. banking industry and are based in Washington, D.C. And they donated $6,000. At number 3 is Centaur Gaming, which is a company based in Indianapolis, Indiana. And they provide a number of ways to gamble. They donated $5,400. Next up is Fisher Investments, which is an independent money management firm. They donated $5,400. And at number 5 on his five individual largest donors is Lucas Oil Products, which is a manufacturer and distributor of automotive oil, additives, and lubricants. And they are headquartered in Corona, California. They donated $5,400. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At number 1, leadership packs. They donated $46,500. Next is candidate committees, who donated $16,500. At number 3, real estate, which donated $14,900. At number 4, crop production and basic processing at $14,675. And his 5th largest industry donor was commercial banks, which donated $10,000. As always, I'll try to put the sources in the description below the video. But as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Don't be a moron. Honestly, is the biggest thing I can say. You know, we have scientific evidence. The earth is not flat. Evolution did happen. You know, these, you know, the fact that the earth is not flat, we've actually got pictures from the space station showing there is a curvature. And evolution did happen because we could see the evidence of it in this scientific, if you scientifically study animals and plants. So yeah, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Go to a college class. Honestly. I think I'm kind of angry on that one because I've recently been watching a video about people buying into some of this ludicrous stupidity on the flat earth or presenting already debunked, extraterrestrial aircraft videos. So, yeah. Educate thyself. Okay? My goodness. But anyway, do love you all. Appreciate every one of you. I'll see you again in the next video. But until then, later.